Do 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 do. Hi there, friends! I'm here today with a review of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child Parts 1 and 2. If you're new to my channel, my name's Nicole, and here on my YouTube channel I do theater reviews in addition to other videos. And I got to see Cursed Child. So the way that I got to see Cursed Child is actually kind of funny. I was in the area near the Palace Theatre, where it is in London, with a friend of mine, and she was like, why don't you see if they have anything for this weekend? So I walked into the box office at 5 p.m. and said, do you have any seats open? And the guy said, I've got a really great deal for the stalls tonight, and here I am like, I can't pay £100, which is what I was expecting. And he goes, yeah, I've got the last, the corner seat of the stalls in the very back for £20 per show. So I saw it on Thursday and Friday, and it is just incredible. Even just the theater that it's in, look at that. But what a show. So if you don't know, Harry Potter and the Cursed Child is set after the end of the Harry Potter series and kind of deals with Harry Potter and Draco Malfoy's children, mostly. And it is just incredible. It's done in 2 parts. You go to either a matinee and an evening or 2 evenings in a row. And so it's basically 4 acts that are action-packed and full of emotion, and I cried so much and I didn't think I was going to somehow, and it was incredible. There's nothing like, even if you're not a Harry Potter fan, I think it's really something for everyone. Now, there's been a lot of hype around the special effects of the show, and I have to say they are incredible. I don't understand how half of the things worked. Things will disappear on stage, people disappearing, things moving on their own. It never feels like it's a gag, though. I personally don't really like shows like Cirque du Soleil and stuff like that, because I feel like it's just a bunch of effects for the sake of being effects, and I'm not into that. All of this was very plot driven, so you never find the special effects distracting from the show itself. I also know that there's kind of a lot of weird feeling around Cursed Child, because a lot of people read the script in book format and didn't like it. And I will say, I held off and I didn't read it because I hoped that I was going to get to see it before I read it, and I'm so glad that I did, because I do think that the plot of it just works a lot better on stage than it ever could in print. I think as a book itself, it wouldn't work that well, but as a show, it functions fantastically. Now, I don't want to give away too much of the plot, so I'm going to try and talk around it, even though a lot of people have read the book version, obviously. But I want to start out by saying that the set is absolutely insane for this. Or the sets, I should say. They're so good. There's ones with water involved, and it's crazy. And one of my favorite parts was, without giving away what it is, at one point they're go into a room that has writing all over it, and what they did was they made it all over the theater, on the walls of the theater, so that it glows in that scene, and it was just crazy. It feels like no matter where you're sat, you get to kind of be a part of the action. I will also say, I don't think this is too much of a spoiler, that one of my favorite special effects was the Dementors, especially at the end of part 1. Just insane. Insane. I'm planning on going to see it again. I'll probably be entering the lottery a lot in the spring because I want to see it from farther up in the audience. Yeah, it's been weeks and I still can't form sentences about it. There are so many good scenes involving Harry's parents. There's a fight between Albus and Scorpius that just blew me apart, and there's a conversation between Draco and Harry that had me sobbing. I didn't think I was gonna cry that much in it, honestly, because whatever. I don't know why I thought that. I sobbed like a baby. I will say I made it through part 1 and I was like, I'd only cried a little bit, so I went in part 2 I'm gonna be fine. I wasn't fine. I spent half of it crying. It absolutely tugs at your heart, both as a Harry Potter fan and just standing alone from that. I think even if it didn't have all the connections to Harry Potter, it still would be a good show on its own. Before I start talking about specific performances, because there are some actors that I want to highlight, I will say their merchandise is amazing. And the merchandise stand changes from night 1 to night 2 that you see it for a plot-driven reason. I don't want to give it away, but it's really cool. I spent a lot of money at their merchandise booth buying Christmas presents, but it also, I have to say, is less expensive than most Harry Potter merchandise than what you would find at the theme parks in the States or at the Harry Potter studios. So definitely if you go, plan on buying some stuff because it's really cool. Alright, I'm going to be consulting my really beautiful, lovely program to make sure that I get all of the names right. I will say, there was not anyone in the cast that I wasn't super impressed by. So I really, really loved Thomas Aldridge as Ron Weasley. I felt like he was everything that you could ever want from Ron Weasley. He and Hermione were so sweet together, and he perfectly mastered that, like, being kind of obnoxiously funny without ever just going straight into obnoxious, which I felt like is so the epitome of Ron. April Hughes plays Moaning Myrtle, and I have to say, Moaning Myrtle's scenes were a highlight of the entire 2 nights for me. Like, I thought that she was so good. The voice that she does for it is so funny, and I, like, felt like she's a better Moaning Myrtle than the Moaning Myrtle in the films. So Samuel Blanken and Theo Ancient, who play Scorpius Malfoy and Albus Potter, are so incredible. I'm also blown away because they both just recently graduated from drama school, so, like, they're so young, but they're so good. They were also both super nice at Stage Door. And I will say that, like, basically the entire cast comes to Stage Door, so definitely go. It's quite fun, and it's quite fun to talk to them about their characters and stuff, but I was so impressed by both of them. I especially, Samuel Blanken, who plays Scorpius, I felt like he brought such a depth to the role and really such an emotional connection that I was just so impressed. I really think that both of them are going to go on to be big talents. I have to talk about Jamie Glover as Harry Potter because he was so good. Like, in some ways it's hard to see someone other than Daniel Radcliffe as Harry Potter because I do love Dan Radcliffe in the film so much, but Jamie Glover is so amazing as Harry Potter. Like, he is perfect. He does that thing that I felt like Dan Radcliffe was quite good at, where he's a bit proud but not vain. Like, he really captured, I feel like, the essence of the character of Harry, and it was really fun to watch Harry deal with trying to be a dad to a son that he doesn't really understand. Alright, so I have saved my last shout out for James Howard, who plays Draco Malfoy. Now, I came out of part 1 and I texted my friend Corinne and I was like, I feel like I'm 15 years old again because I'm fangirling over Draco Malfoy. Definitely reawakened a kind of dormant love for that character. But James Howard reminded me so much of Jason Isaacs, who played Lucius Malfoy in the films of the Harry Potter franchise. And he was just so commanding. He had really good stage presence, really good chemistry with all the other actors, especially Jamie Glover as Harry, and just really brought, like, a very commanding performance that was offset at times by a very vulnerable emotional performance. For me, he was kind of the standout both character and actor of the show, but the entire cast, there's not one person that I felt like was a weak link. I also have to say one of the best parts of the show is getting to see characters like, I mean, spoilers ahead for the next, like, 5 seconds, but Dumbledore, Snape, Hagrid, Lily and James Potter, and Moaning Myrtle come back, that are characters that you're really familiar with, and seeing them kind of in their forms, because obviously a lot of the cast, like Ron, Harry, Hermione, Draco, you're seeing grown-up versions of them, whereas those characters you're seeing just straight up the same versions. So overall, just an incredible show. Alright, now that I've rambled on enough, I feel like there's not that many ways that I can say, go see it, it's amazing, it's well worth the money and the hype and everything. I think sometimes you expect things like this not to live up to their hype. I certainly didn't. I felt the same way about Hamilton, and then I went in and I was like, it's better than everyone says it is. And I felt the same way about Cursed Child. So overall, so impressed with the special effects, so impressed with the cast. There's absolutely nothing in it that's not perfect. I definitely want to see it again. And also, if you're in London, I highly recommend going to the theater and seeing if they have any cancellations or returns, because it's well worth checking. You can end up with really inexpensive seats actually on that day or the next day. Well, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and to give the video a thumbs up as always, which really helps me out and also just makes my day. You can also find me on social media. I'm at Nicole Ackerman16 on Twitter and Instagram. I also have a blog where I talk about theater as well, which is www.flowercrownsofrevolutionaries.blogspot.com. And I'm living here in London for a year while I do my master's, so if you'd like to know what I get up to in London, maybe get some recommendations for things to do here, you can check it out at www.sailingoftolondon.wordpress.com. Well, thanks so much for watching. Make sure to let me know if you've seen the show down in the comments, or if you're going to, or if you want to, because I would love to talk to you guys about it. I'll see you again soon. Bye!